Peace and joy. He's good in every way. Gives us all we need and more. same. So hold on tight and follow real close. God is good and He's in control. Clap your hands like this. Now do the twist. Stomp your feet the same.
Stop!
Now sing this way. There's a whole lot of change coming your way, 'cause like it or not, nothing stays the same. So hold on tight and follow real close. God is good and He's in control. Clap your hands like this. Now let's pump this. Stomp your feet the same. Now whistle this way. Change it one more time. Clap your hands like this. Now do the twist. Stomp your feet the same. Now shout this way. Whole lot of change coming your way, 'cause like it or not, nothing stays the same.
Hi kids, how's everyone doing? Are you guys excited? I'm so excited! My name is Ranger Rhonda. How's everyone doing? Why is everyone staring at Ranger Joe? Oh, Ranger Joe, what's wrong?
I'm not happy today.
Why aren't you happy today?
I have to change schools.
How was your old school?
My old school was awesome. The school that I used to go to was so much fun. I had all my friends there. The teachers were so nice to me. I did really well. I studied so hard and I was really good. But now I have to move up. I'm not excited at all.
Why was it so good?
Because God was with me. And so He helped me to study really hard, and He helped me to make good friends, and He helped me to work hard and have good teachers, and He just made my life happy and full. But now I have to go to a new school, and everything's gonna change.
It's okay, Ranger Joe. Just like at your old school, right? God was always there for you. And so now even when you're changing schools, God is never going to change, right?
Really?
Really? God never changes even when our lives change. God will always be with us.
So, the same God that was with me in my old school is gonna be with me in my new school too?
Yes, that's correct, Ranger Joe. You have nothing to worry about.
So you mean that when life changes,
God is good.
when life changes, thanks, Ranger Rhonda!
You can do it!
Wasn't that great? Ranger Rhonda just made me so happy because sometimes when life changes, it can be a little bit scary, right guys? Like if you have to go to a new school, or if you're going into a new class and you think, I don't know if I'm gonna have any friends there.
You mean you're nervous?
Yes, perfect word, Kaden. Sometimes it will be a little bit nervous, right? We might be a little bit nervous and we could say, ooh, I don't know what it's gonna be when something changes in my life. Sometimes changes can be a little bit scary. But when we are scared, we can know, remember what we said yesterday? When life is scary, God is good! And today we're learning, when life changes, God is good! Good. So I want to ask you, have you ever had a change in your life that you felt a little bit nervous about? Yeah? Can you come up here? Going to year 4. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, isn't it? Anyone else? Yeah?
When, say if my mom plans to, if she said if I was going over my house and then she changed her mind, I decided because I really wanted to go over my friend's house.
Oh, yeah. Right? So it would be a little sad when mom changes her mind. Go ahead.
I'm going to year 3.
Going to year 3.
Changing classes.
Changing classes, definitely.
Changing classes.
I think you agree with Kason, right?
I'm going to year 3.
Good job, Tyler. You're going to year 2?
I'm going to another lab.
Say that again. Going to year 3. So when we go to the new year at school and we'll say, I wonder what my teacher will be like. And I wonder if I'm going to have friends at school. And I wonder if I'll do well, if I'll be able to keep up. And you'll say, oh, everything is changing. And sometimes those changes make us feel a little bit nervous. But we have this promise that even though the world around us changes, and sometimes our lives might change, God will never change. Right? So the Bible even says, God is the same, Jesus is the same, yesterday, today, and guess what? Forever! Boy, forever is a long, long time, isn't it? So we have that great assurance, that great confidence that we know that God will always be good no matter how much life changes. Now I want to introduce you to our buddy for today.
Welcome back to another day of roaring excitement. You must have heard this is the wildest place to be. Heard? Get it? I'm Marge, and I might look a little like something you'd see on a farm. But I'm even cooler. I'm a Cape buffalo, sometimes called an African buffalo. I like the savannas, woods, or even rainforests throughout Africa. We're actually pretty easy to find because we always stay within 1 day's walk from water. During the dry season, that means we're on the move. The most experienced cow in the herd is called the pathfinder. It's the pathfinder's job to lead the rest of the herd to good grazing and water. Sometimes we even have to cross rivers to get to a better grazing area. But don't worry, we may be large, but we're great swimmers. Finding a good place to eat is a big deal for my herd because we eat a lot. You might say we're nature's lawnmowers. It's not always fun and games. Sometimes dangerous animals want to make a meal out of us. Our herd will circle up around our babies with our heads and horns facing out. Don't mess with Marge. Between moving around and keeping our young safe, life is full of changes for me and my herd. Is your life full of changes? Maybe you're moving or going to a new school, or maybe your parents got a divorce and life is really different from the way it was. All those changes can remind you of my swooping, curving horns. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Life sure changes. Did you know that even in all of those ups and downs and new things, God is still the same good God that He's always been? It's true. The Bible reminds us to do this. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Endures forever means it lasts on and on and on. God's good, awesome, amazing love for you will never end. No matter what things in your life are changing, you can lean on God's solid love when things around you seem twisting, rolling, and rocking. When life changes, God is good.
When life changes, can we see the Bible verse for today? It says, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Psalm 106, verse 1. Can we all read that together? Right? If you don't know how to read, just try to follow along the best that you can, okay? Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Psalm 106, verse 1. As you know, like we've been doing the past few days, we're going to ask you to try your best to memorize those Bible verses. Does anybody remember the Bible verse from the first day? Yeah? Karis, you want to come up? Does anyone remember the Bible verse from yesterday? Jessica, can you come up?
The Lord is good, a strong refuge when trouble comes. Nahum, verse 1, chapter 7. Verse chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is a strong refuge when trouble comes. Even when trouble comes. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I won't be afraid. By you are close beside me. Psalm 23, verse 4.
Isaac, you want to go too? Okay. That's one, okay?
The Lord is God, a strong refuge when trouble comes. Nahum chapter 1, verse 7.
Good job. Thank you. Okay, you can go back to your seat. And now I think it's time for our Bible station. So if our actors are ready? 3, 2, 1, action!
So just as God had said, He brought His people out of slavery in Egypt.
Hey, Carl and Ellie, did you hear about the news? Yup, I can't believe it. You finally let us go.
After 430 years, we're finally leaving Egypt.
Don't forget to pack your stuff, and let's make sure to bring the bread.
The Israelites started to pack their things, and as the Israelites were leaving, God went in front of His people in a great tower of smoke.
Go, quickly, follow the light.
And a great tower of fire.
Aaron! Miriam! Moses, brother.
Moses, it's finally happening. We're leaving Egypt just as God promised us. I wish Mom were here to see this.
Yeah, me too. This time is so different. for us, away from Egypt. Don't you worry, because when life changes,
John Briggs, where are these pesky Israelites?
Your Highness, the Israelites have already left. You just told them to go.
What the heck? Get the army. We must get them before they get away. Who's going to do our work if they get away? Go.
Yes, Pharaoh.
So God led the Israelites out of the desert and by the Red Sea. Meanwhile, Pharaoh and his soldiers pursued the Israelites.
Wait, hey guys, did you hear something?
Everything's gonna be okay.
we're all gonna die.
I'd rather serve the Egyptians than die in this desert.
Why didn't you leave us alone? I was fine working for the Egyptians.
Moses, we're trapped by the sea. What are we going to do?
Everyone, do not be afraid. The Lord will take you out of Egypt, and you will never see them anymore.
Moses,
Yes, God?
raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water, so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground.
Yes, God. Quickly, go across.
All right, children, quickly. The soldiers are coming. We need to get through the Red Sea. Children, quickly, get up.
Come on, guys.
The soldiers are coming. Quick, quick. Do you hear the chariots are coming? Guys, these little really quickly come and sit down. If you guys go through, quickly come and sit down. The army's coming. They got through it safely too. In this way, God's people crossed on dry ground, but when Pharaoh and his chariots tried to cross the sea,
I see them. Where are they? Charge!
so that day the Israelites saw God do a mighty act. Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and horsemen went into the sea, and the Lord brought the waters of the sea back over them. But the Israelites walked through the sea on dry ground.
I'm so happy I can sing.
I know, right? God is so amazing.
You can't. He completely destroyed them.
So the Israelites sang to the Lord how he delivered them from Pharaoh and the Egyptians and his unfailing love for them. Then Moses led the Israelites from the Red Sea, and they went into the desert of Shur. For 3 days they traveled without finding water. They came across a place called Marah.
Water.
So Lord. Oh, it's so bitter.
What are we going to drink?
What do I do? There's some break here.
Moses, take the piece of wood and put it into the water.
Water. Yes, God. Oh, so much better. So much better.
Time to set up camp.
Then God said, if you listen carefully to the Lord your God and you do what is right, if you keep to his commands, I will not bring the disease I brought on the Egyptians on you, for I am the Lord who heals you. Then God brought them to a place called Elim with 12 springs of water.
So hungry.
So angry.
So hungry, and the baby's hungry too.
And my sheep. Lord God, what do I do?
Moses, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to gather each day enough for that day only. In this way, I will test them whether they listen to my instructions.
Guys, I have news. There's going to be bread coming from heaven every day. And there will be meat at night.
What is this?
At nighttime, quail birds came and covered the camp.
Tastes like chicken.
In the morning, there was a layer of dew around the camp with thin flakes like frost on the ground.
What is this?
I don't know.
Ew,
It,
looks like
it tastes like honey.
yummy.
That's called manna.
Okay.
I also have further instructions. Only take what you need for that day and take no more.
Okay.
But the Israelites did not listen, and some took more than they were supposed to and saved the bread until morning.
Oh, what is this?
Ew, looks like worms. I told you we shouldn't have taken more than we were supposed to.
I have further instructions, even more. Tomorrow will be the 6th day, and on the 7th day there will be no manna. So you must take double the amount, and you must boil and bake it, and save it for tomorrow.
Again, the Israelites did not keep God's instructions. On the 6th day, some of the Israelites showed up to gather manna but found none.
Where's the manna? Oh well, I can tell you tomorrow then.
Moses,
Yes, God?
how long will these people refuse to keep my instructions? Why do they gather when I told them to rest? Take some of the manna and store it in a jar to keep, so that you will never forget how I fed you in the wilderness and when I brought you out of Egypt.
So the Israelites ate manna for 40 years, and in this way God provided his people with their bread every day. Next, the Israelites came to a place called Rephidim, and the people were thirsty, so they complained to Moses again.
Thirsty.
Thirsty. Gives us water.
Oh, so thirsty too.
Moses, what are you doing? Moses, do something.
Why do you guys argue with me? Why do you put God to the test?
You promised us so much stuff, and you failed to do them.
Lord, why must this have gone so bad? Lord, please help us.
Go take the staff you used to strike the Nile and strike the rock instead, and water will come out of it for the people to drink. After 40 years of wandering through the desert, after 40 years of wandering through the desert, God led Joshua to lead his people into the promised land of Canaan. After 40 years of wandering through the desert, God led Joshua to lead his people into the promised land of Canaan.
Boys and girls, did you like that story? Yeah? So, our actors came all the way from America to perform this act for us, and it's all done now. They're done with their private station. So let's give them all a round of applause. Let's thank them for their hard work. So, let's talk a little bit about what we watched, okay? So today what happened? Does anyone remember what happened at the very beginning? So Pharaoh finally told, do you remember Pharaoh finally told the Israelites that they're allowed to leave, right? Do you remember that? So Pharaoh told the Israelites, you may go. And so they all left, and as they were leaving, how did they feel? How did they feel? They felt excited, but also a little bit nervous. What is life going to be like once we leave Egypt? They lived in Egypt their entire lives, and they didn't know what it was going to be like. And so they felt a little nervous, but who was with them the entire time? God was with them the whole way. And every time they had a problem. What were some of the problems that they had? They were thirsty.